Introduction. Poisoning has long been a method of murder due to its covert nature, often leaving no immediate signs of foul play. Some cases have captivated the public and shocked the world with their ingenuity, cruelty, or mystery. Here, we explore some of the most notorious poisoning cases throughout history, each leaving a dark mark on humanity's legacy. 1. The Borgias, a family infamous for poisoning. The Borgia family, an influential Italian dynasty during the Renaissance, is notorious for using poison to eliminate political and personal rivals. Rodrigo Borgia, who became Pope Alexander VI, along with his children Cesare and Lucrezia, allegedly used a concoction called La Cantarella, a secret poison, to eliminate those who threatened their rise to power. Though it's debated how much of this is historical fact versus legend, the Borgias remain one of history's most infamous families associated with poisoning. 2. Madame de Brinvilliers, the affair of the poison. In 17th-century France, Madame de Brinvilliers became infamous for poisoning her father and two brothers in a bid to claim their inheritance. Her case was part of the larger affair of the poisons, a scandal that involved many members of French nobility, rumored to have dabbled in poison, black magic, and even rituals. Madame de Brinvilliers was eventually caught, tortured, and executed, marking her as one of France's most notorious female poisoners. 3. Grigory Rasputin, the Russian mystic who refused to die. Rasputin, the mystic healer and confidant to the Romanov family in Russia, was notoriously hard to kill. In 1916, a group of Russian nobles, fearing Rasputin's influence over the Tsarina, conspired to assassinate him. They laced his wine and cakes with cyanide, but to their horror, Rasputin seemed unaffected. When the poison failed, they shot him multiple times and eventually drowned him in a river. Rasputin's resilience to poisoning has contributed to his legend, even though some speculate he may have had a natural immunity to cyanide. 4. The thallium poisoning of Graham Young. British teacup poisoner Graham Young was obsessed with chemistry and poison from an early age. In the 1960s, he used his knowledge to poison family members and colleagues with thallium, a highly toxic metal that caused excruciating symptoms before death. After serving a prison sentence for poisoning his family, he was released and went on to poison more people, eventually being sentenced to life imprisonment. Young's case shocked the world and prompted increased awareness of chemical and toxicological safety. 5. The mysterious death of Georgy Markov. In 1978, Bulgarian dissident Georgy Markov was assassinated in London in a case of Cold War intrigue. While waiting at a bus stop, Markov felt a sharp sting in his leg, as if from an insect bite. Days later, he died from poisoning by ricin, a deadly plant toxin. British authorities discovered a tiny pellet, likely shot into his leg via an umbrella modified to serve as a dart gun. The umbrella murder remains one of the most infamous assassinations of the Cold War era. 6. The Jonestown Massacre, mass poisoning by cyanide. In 1978, Jim Jones, leader of the People's Temple cult, orchestrated the mass suicide of over 900 of his followers in Jonestown, Guyana. Followers were forced to drink cyanide-laced punch, a tragic event that led to the phrase, "drinking the Kool-Aid," becoming a grim symbol of blind obedience. This mass poisoning remains one of the deadliest cult-related incidents in history, casting a dark shadow over the dangers of manipulation and cult indoctrination. 7. The polonium poisoning of Alexander Litvinenko. In 2006, former Russian spy Alexander Litvinenko was poisoned with polonium-210, a radioactive substance, while living in London. Litvinenko fell severely ill after drinking tea at a hotel with two Russian acquaintances. The substance led to a painful and agonizing death as his body slowly succumbed to radiation poisoning. The incident sparked an international investigation, and evidence pointed to Russian operatives as suspects, fueling tensions between the UK and Russia. 8. The poisoning of Viktor Yushchenko. In 2004, Ukrainian presidential candidate Viktor Yushchenko was poisoned with dioxin, which caused his face to become disfigured and left him in severe pain. The poisoning occurred during a heated election, and Yushchenko later claimed he was targeted due to his pro-Western political stance. Although he survived, the poisoning incident remains a symbol of political manipulation and intimidation in modern Eastern Europe. 9. Tylenol murders of 1982. In 1982, a series of unexplained deaths in Chicago led to one of the largest product recalls in U.S. history. 7 people died after consuming Tylenol capsules that had been laced with cyanide. This led to a nationwide panic, as authorities scrambled to understand and mitigate the threat. Though a culprit was never definitively identified, the incident resulted in new packaging and tamper-evident seals for medications, transforming public safety practices in the pharmaceutical industry. 10. The Pizza Connection poisoning in Japan. In 1998, Japanese food and pharmaceutical company Snowbrand was embroiled in scandal when a disgruntled employee poisoned hundreds of packages of dairy products with arsenic. Known as the Pizza Connection case due to the popularity of Snowbrand's pizza toppings, the incident resulted in a widespread health crisis, damaging the company's reputation and leading to major changes in food safety regulations in Japan. Conclusion. Poisoning remains a dark yet fascinating method of murder, shrouded in mystery, horror, and intrigue. These cases, spanning centuries and continents, highlight not only the lengths people go to achieve power, revenge, or even political gain, but also the terrifying ease with which poison can be administered. Each incident reminds us of the silent, lethal danger that can be hidden within everyday objects, underscoring the need for vigilance, safety, and awareness.